learning seems to largely be a matter of building and revising these schemas. So the basic, idea of learning as schema revision is the first experience of something forms a schema. So the first time you go to a restaurant, it becomes your restaurant schema. It becomes your script for restaurants. And the next time you go, you make predictions based on that schema. And when those predictions go wrong, you try to explain the deviation, you try to understand causally what was happening, and then you adjust or expand your schema accordingly to accommodate that. So by the time you've been to 1,000 restaurants, you not only have many details you didn't have right the first time, but you can also differentiate many varieties of restaurants. So you understand what an Italian restaurant is, what a sushi restaurant is, what a tandoori restaurant is, what a Chinese restaurant is, what a wine bar is, and so on and so forth. And those are all, so you have this big, it's not even just a schema in some sense, it's a network of schemas that represent all the kinds of restaurants and all the scripts that you would go through in those restaurants. And that, each time something happens that you don't expect, you go to a restaurant that works in a new way, like the first time you go to a sushi bar, that might work in a way that you're not used to, right? Your expectations from your schema fail, and that failure points you to a place where you need to add some new knowledge, and that's how you become more and more expert. So that kind of learning, you'll notice it looks very different from the way deep learning works. Deep learning basically learns because millions and millions of examples. It finally extracts the sort of statistical pattern out of all the noise. The statistical pattern that represents successful chess playing, for example. Whereas here, you're learning by understanding the causality of what's happening, and then encoding that into macro structures like schemas that allow you to very quickly understand what's happening. So it's a very different kind of learning, and it can happen much faster. You can learn, if you go to a new kind of restaurant, you'll be confused at first, but you'll very likely understand it pretty well by the time you leave, and you can sort of put together in one shot basically a new structure to understand it.